Key to dungeon level 1. Wandering monsters are checked on every third turn. A roll of 6 indicates, on a 1d6 indicates an encounter. Wandering monsters level 1. Giant rats, 2 to 8. Giant lizard with 3 hit dice. Poisonous snake with 4 hit dice. Constrictor with 6 hit dice. Troglodytes, 1 to 4. Giant weasel with 3 hit dice. 1 wooden stairs. 1 wooden stairs. Here we are at the top here. In the north. The muddy wooden stairs are slippery. Characters who do not take special precautions, roping etc., must roll their dexterity or less on a d20 or slip and tumble to the bottom. Characters who fall will knock any characters in front of them down as well. The stairway descends for 60 feet before ending in the relatively dry room at the bottom. No damage is taken in the fall. Entry room 2. Just south of the stairs. Here, 4 giant guards with spears are on duty. AC 7, movement 9, hit dice 1, hit points 4 each, attack 1, damage 1 to 6. If some characters have taken the rapid route to the bottom of the stairway, the guards automatically have initiative. The first round is initiative in the first round if a fight develops. Note that their eyes are accustomed to the dim light from above. This chamber is unlit. They have no treasure. 3. Chamber of the Frogs. Ooh. 3. This is over to the west. There's like a watery area or something. The wooden door to this room is swollen from the dampness, and opening it attempts are at a -1 penalty. Beyond the door is a room almost totally filled with murky brown pool of water. So this is player text. Beyond the door is a room almost totally filled with a murky brown pool of water. The smell of swamp gas is very strong here. A thick, slime-covered column rises from the centre of the pool to support the sagging timbers of the ceiling. Across the chamber, a small, muddy shelf extends into the pool. DM notes. Hiding in the water near the centre of the pool are 2 killer frogs. That sounds funny. AC 8, movement 6 or 12. Hit dice 1 plus 4, hit points 8 each, attacks 3, 1d2, 1d2, and 2 to 5. They will attack anyone stepping through the door. The pool is 3 feet deep throughout, with an additional 1 foot of mud on the bottom. Wading is at a quarter of the usual movement rate. There is no treasure here. The secret door is actually a plug of dirt that fills a 3-foot diameter hole. It may be detected with the usual roll, allowing elves and half-elves their bonus, of course. If noticed, the door may be removed in 2 turns of diligent digging, revealing a narrow tunnel that snakes back into a room. Secret door, that's to the north, which leads to 4. 4. Cult treasure chamber. Player text. The ceiling of this chamber is 8 foot above the floor. 3 large chests resting upon a 5x5 platform are raised 1 foot above the muddy floor in the centre of the room. DM text. This is a minor treasure room of the cult. The sides of the platform are solid, so it cannot be looked under without lifting or destroying it. The platform is hollow and empty beneath. The chests are not trapped, but are locked and bound with brass, making them virtually impossible to break into by force. -10% from a roll to bend bars lift gate, allowing each player 1 roll. The first chest contains 12,000 copper pieces, the second 4,560 silver pieces and 450 electrum pieces, and the third 87 ornamental stones, azurite, lapis lazuli, obsidian, worth an average of 10 GP apiece, and 6 semi-precious stones, onyx, zircon, and jasper, worth 25 gold pieces apiece. Good haul. 5. Cave in. 5. Where is that? Yeah, down here, so south of that whole area. The west wall of the tunnel has collapsed here, burying the supporting timbers under tons of mud. The widened cabin floor has a layer of mud at least 3 feet deep over the entire floor. Movement through this chamber is at quarter normal speed for humans and elves, but only a 10th normal speed for dwarves and halflings. 6. Burial pool. It's even further south of that, behind a door. The door, swollen from the dampness, is opened at a penalty of -1. Text to be read aloud. The pool here has been the final resting spot for many a skeleton, after the slimy creatures of the lower level have picked it clean. 2 mossy columns support a low ceiling. The floor is entirely covered with clear water, sloping to a depth of 6 feet in the centre. Dozens of skeletons are visible, and a strong smell of death and decay is in the air. Ugh, there is nothing of value here. 7. Home of the green slime. 777. So this is back up near the entrance, going eastward, sorry. In the centre of the muddy section of this corridor, a green slime, AC 9, movement 0, hit dice 2, hit point 7, D, turns flesh to slime, gross, awaits the unwary foot. If the party is prodding the mud before them, the chance of surprise is normal, but if the characters merely walk through the mud, they will be surprised. Movement through the mud is at half normal speed. The door just beyond the pool is false. False door, huh? Oh yeah, it doesn't live anywhere. 8. Human cult members room. Oh yeah, a few of them. Got 8A, B, C, and D, all coming off this corridor, and E a bit further on. These 5 rooms shelter the 16 level 0 humans who have been assigned to serve as dungeon guards. 4 of them were already met at the entrance chamber, and the other 12 will be here. Loud noises in this area will bring all of them running in 1 to 4 rounds. These rooms are lit by lamps and torches. Other cult members will have light sources when encountered. 8A. It's the first one on to the south. The door is unlocked. In this room, 4 female cult members, AC 7, movement 9, hit dice 1, -1, hit points 3, attack 1, damage 1 to 6, are sitting listlessly on wooden bunks. One is sharpening a spear, and the others have similar weapons near at hand. They will attack strangers on sight. As with all these cult members, they have no personal treasure. 8B, which is the next one to the south. This door is locked. This empty room belongs to 4 men on guard duty. The 4 men on guard duty from 4. 4 bunks against the walls and a small table are the only items in here. 8C. It's the next one along to the south. This door is locked. The room contains 4 cult spearmen asleep. AC 9, movement 12, hit dice 1, hit points 4, attacks 1, damage 1 to 6. Their shields and spears are handy, but they will not stop to put on their armour. AC 7 in an emergency. If they are attacked without being alerted, they will have no action on the first round and automatically lose initiative on the second round. 8D. That's the first room to the north. This room is the same as 8C, including 4 sleeping spearmen. 8E, which is further to the north along a corridor. This room has a long table with benches to either side of it. Dirty platters and several stained mugs are strewn around the tabletop. At the west end of the room is a small oven vented through an 8-inch diameter hole in the ceiling. Several closed wooden boxes contain more platters, pans, mugs, and several bottles of very low-grade wine, dried beans, and lard. There is nothing of interest or value here. 9. Storage room. So this is kind of in the middle of the dungeon. The door to this room is locked. Beyond, crates, barrels, cases, and racks contain most of the dungeon's supplies. 10 spears, 4 daggers, and a short sword are protected from dampness by a rack on the wall. The crates contain dried beans, wheat flour, cornmeal, potatoes, turnips, oil, lard, and salt. Boxes of large spikes, several hammers, a pile of stout timbers, and 4 shovels are the building materials present. Several dozen several dozen fresh torches are stored in a barrel. Not fish. There's no fish here whatsoever. 10. Empty pool. 10, empty pool here in the kind of middle of the dungeon. This shallow pool of clear, still water was revealed when a section of the tunnel wall caved in. Hundreds of small and apparently blind fish dart through the water, but there is nothing else of interest here. Blind fish. So there you go. 11, wine storage. Tiny little room. This room is stoutly locked. Stoutly. When the door is tried, a little dirt will fall from the ceiling. If the door is forced, a large section of dirt will fall from the ceiling onto any characters within 10 feet of the door, doing 1 to 4 points of damage to each. The room contains 15 casks and kegs raised off the dirt floor on wooden shelves. Most of these contain the low-grade wine and watery beer that is given to low-level cult members, but 4 small casks are private stock for the reptile god and her higher minions. These are all full. 2 contain a strong dark beer, the others contain Verlanen Fire Amber, and Orleans special wines. The casks weigh 250 gold pieces each and are worth 100 gold pieces beer and 200 gold pieces wine. 12A to 12B are empty rooms. These are on the middle east side. These empty chambers have unlocked but stuck doors. Each has a pile of mud in the far corner from a slowly eroding wall, but they contain nothing of value. 13, entry hall. 13, entry hall. Oh yeah, in the middle, right in the middle. This lofty room has a ceiling 15 feet over the floor, supported by 6 stout columns of unadorned wood. The pool of mud in the centre will reduce movement by half, but otherwise it is unremarkable. 14. Lieutenant's quarters. There's a whole bunch of rooms here. Kind of the middle to northwest corner. Herein dwell the reptile god's higher level human followers, 2 assassins, a fighter and a cleric. These rooms are the most comfortable in the dungeon, and 3 of the 4 residents will be in them. The 4th, a cleric, is tending to the altar of evil on the 2nd level. More about him later. ... The outer door is heavily barred, -2 on opening rolls. If it is smashed in on the first attempt, the assassins will be in room 14A. 14A, right in the middle. And the fighter will be in room 14C. If the first attempt to break the door is unsuccessful, they will have assumed defensive positions by the time the group enters. The fighter will be in the centre of the room, 14A, and the assassins will be flanking the door. Right, cool. Here we go, details. Jarvis Iniga. Fighter 3, AC 4, hit points 18, attack 1 at +1, damage 1d8 +1, strength 17, intelligence 10, wisdom 11, dexterity 14, constitution 16, charisma 8, scale mail armor, shield +1, and longsword. Blaze Gobar, assassin 2, AC nothing, missing, hit point 6, attack 1, damage 1d6, strength 13, intelligence 13, wisdom 10, dexterity 14, constitution 13, charisma 6, leather armor, shield, and short sword. Short sword always has capital letter. Strange. Ben Griff, assassin 2. Ben Griff. Ben with 2 N's. AC 7, hit point 7, attack 1, at +1. Damage 1d6 +1, strength 13, intelligence 13, wisdom 10, dexterity 14, constitution 13, charisma 6, leather armor, shield, and short sword +1 +2 versus scaly creatures. 14A. This room contains 4 soft chairs and several small tables. A fire is burning in a large fireplace, and a large stack of wood is next to it. A keg of Orleanian wine, about a quarter full, is set in the corner, and 2 glasses are on the tables. 14B. Up in the of these rooms, it's up in the northeast. Ugh. Ben Griff and Blaze Gobar share this room. It contains 2 beds and mattresses, 2 chairs, and 6 wall pegs. 2 wooden cloaks are in here, but the room is otherwise empty. 14C, over to the west. This is Jarvis Iniger's room, containing a bed, chair, and several pegs on the wall. A wooden cloak hangs from one of these, and a thick quilt covers the bed. There is nothing else in the room. 14D is the one to the south. This room is locked and leads to the cleric's room. A soft bed, desk, chair, and wooden chest are the only objects in the room. The chest is hidden under the bed. A small jade image of the reptile god, worth 75 gold pieces, is on the desk. The chest is locked and protected by a glyph of warding that will paralyze a creature opening it for 3 to 8 turns. The code word to open it safely is Explictica. Within the chest is a clerical robe of black and crimson, a mace, and a scroll with two cure light wound spells. Nice. 15, crocodile pool. Ooh, right in the middle, look at that. Crocodile pool. This large room has no doors. The corridors leading to it simply end at the water's edge. While very shallow around its perimeter, the pool reaches a depth of 4 feet in the centre. The muck on the bottom will reduce movement to quarter normal speed. Yeah. A stagnant, musty smell is strong here. The water is relatively clear, and many small fish can be seen. The more noteworthy residents of the chamber are resting on a mud shelf in the northeast end of the room. Mud shelf in the northeast. Oh, yeah. Up there. Any ripple in the water will cause them to enter the pool and swim towards the source of movement. 3 crocodiles. AC 5, movement 6 or 12. Hit dice 3, hit points 13 each. Attack 2, damage 2 to 8 or 1 to 12. Note, the crocodiles will not use their second attack unless the victim is out of the water. They have no treasure, since any baubles dropped by previous victims might have been collected by the troglodytes that routinely clean the chamber. Weird. 15A, hidden boat. Oh. That's cool. The small alcove hides a small boat the cult members used to cross the crocodile pool. The boat holds up to 10 characters, and the crocodiles will not attack unless it's disturbed. And it's behind a secret door. You mention of that. Where was the mention of that? 14. Did they say something about that? Don't think so. No. Okay, random. 16. Arched chamber. So this is over in the southeast corner. The door to this room is unlocked and has been scorched by the cult members with a large black X. Within four thick columns support the beams of an arched chamber ceiling 25 feet high. A 20-foot wide and 20-foot high corridor leads from the southern side of the room. Oh, there we go. As soon as the harpy in room 17 hears the creatures enter, room 17 being directly south, the evil bird woman will attempt to work the magic of her song. All characters who save versus spell will be unaffected by the harpy's song for this encounter, or failing the saving throw will be charmed by the singing. They will approach the harpy and become bogged down in the mud of the connecting corridor. This mud is 6 feet deep and especially thick. Any creature trying to cross it will become stuck fast about the midpoint. Outside, aid, such as ropes or poles, will be necessary to rescue stuck creatures. Meanwhile, the harpy, AC 7, movement 6 or 15, flying I guess, hit dice 3, hit points 11, attack 3, damage 1 to 3, 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, will fly down the passage to attack the rest of the party. She will attempt to strike with her claws, thus charming any who fail a saving throw. Remember, elves are 90% resistant. Charmed characters will immediately stop their attacks on the harpy, but she will not take the time to direct them to actively aid her. If the harpy's victims are not rescued, she will bind them with a dagger taken from a previous victim and take them to her den. If they are not rescued by comrades, the harpy will torture and kill her guests at her leisure. If a blinded victim is rescued, a heal or regenerate spell will be necessary to restore sight. Yucks. That's nasty. 7. Den of the Harpy. 17. The southern chamber can barely be seen from the north end of the corridor. A thief could reach it, avoiding the mud by making 2 climb sheer surface rolls and moving laterally along the walls. One of the 20-foot timbers from room 19 could be brought and used as a bridge, but require strength combined of 40 to lift, and could only be carried through the dungeon at a fully encumbered movement rate of 3 inches. I don't know what that is. This chamber must be feet. This chamber is much like chamber 16, except that the 4 columns in the northern chamber have been connected to each other with branch-like perches, 5 to 10 feet off the floor. The harpy has collected jewelry and medallions as her prizes, and these are draped decoratively from her perches. The jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, and chains is worth 250 gold pieces, 100 gold pieces times 2, 90 gold pieces, 75 gold pieces, and 50 gold pieces times 4. A ruby medallion worth 800 gold pieces, and a necklace of adaptation, which looks like a 50 gold piece necklace, also hang here. A hole in the ceiling, unreachable by climbing, leads to an exit through a hummock in the marsh. I don't know what a hummock is. Cool. 18. Lair of the Giant Weasel. This is kind of in the southwest corner. The watery corridor leading to this muddy den may be waded through, since it's only 2 feet deep. Because of the muck on the bottom, however, movement is at quarter the normal rate. If the weasel has not been encountered as a wandering monster, it will be found in its lair. At the sound of a group approaching, it will enter the corridor and attack. This is the lair of the giant weasel. AC 6, movement 15, hit dice 3+3, hit points 14, attack 1, damage 2 to 12, plus blood drain. There is a torn leather pouch, as well as some rusty buckles and a tattered tunic. Buried in the mud of the chamber are 300 gold pieces and 800 silver pieces. A character who digs through the mud will find 10% of these each turn spent searching. Random. Not random, good, interesting. 19, corridor. Let's head south. There's a picture of the harpy. Charmer. 19, corridor. This watery hole is similar in depth and effect on movement to the route to the weasel's lair. It leads to a dead end. 20, Troglodyte's guard room. Alright, this is the entrance to level 2, I guess. There's 3 rooms here, 20A, B, and C. Moving from east to west. And then some stairs. This network of chambers gives access to the lower level of the dungeon, and as such a permanent guard of troglodytes has been assigned here. Each door will be barred on the side opposite the adventurer's approach. They are difficult to force open, -1 penalty. 20A. The outer guard room has 2 troglodytes, AC 5, movement 12, hit dice 12, hit points 10, attack 1, damage 1 to 6, plus revulsion odor. Sorry, water. Cheers. Each carrying a stone battle axe. Troglodytes, that is. 3 wooden benches are the only items of furniture in the room. The troglodytes will release their stench as soon as the door is hit, and one will bang on the door leading to 20B and 20C to alert the other 4 troglodytes. The latter will arrive in 2 rounds, and if the battle is still in progress, they will unbar the door and join the melee. If the 2 guards have been killed, or if the 4 hear no sound beyond the door, they will leave the bar across it and wait for the party to come through. The 4 late arrivals are also armed with stone axes and have 10 hit points apiece. 20B. This is simply a large, empty room. 20C. This is where the guards sleep. Many fish bones are scattered around the floor, and there is a low table in the centre of the room. Each troglodyte has a small leather pouch at its waist and a few coins inside. The total carried by all is 16 gold pieces, 20 electrum pieces, 57 silver pieces, and 180 copper pieces. And that is the end of the key to dungeon level